Hey friends, so today we are talking to Shea Fontana, the executive producer of the Monster High animated series. Before we begin, I do want to say, Shay, thank you very much because the DC Superhero Girls comics that you wrote, I would read those with my daughter when she was younger, and then that was like our time together before bed, sitting on the bed, reading it to her, and so it got us to like connect in a way that I didn't think we would over comics. So this actually created her joy for comic books. So thank you very much for sharing
I
that with
love
me.
hearing that. That was such a special project to me, and the DC Superhero Girls have lived on in such a great way with so many kids that grew up reading them, and so many kids where it was their first comic book. So I'm so excited to hear that and understand that, what we do as writers in our homes alone actually goes out to people and makes an impact is really the most wonderful feeling. So thank you for sharing.
Oh, anytime. I might want to make sure I said that too because I don't know if I ever get a chance. Um, but you moved from that. Now you're working on the Monster High series. And what was it about this show? Because it's gone through different iterations, and even with the toys, they've completely changed. What was it about this series that you said I want to work on this and put like my touch to it?
With Monster High, what I really loved about it from the beginning, when it launched in 2010, it was all about this embracing diversity, loving your friends for who they are, overcoming, any differences between us and celebrating our differences. So that was what I fell in love with from the beginning with Monster High, just this ability to create an incredibly inclusive group of friends, friends who love each other no matter what, who have all of these differences between them. You have a vampire and a Frankenstein monster and all these different kinds of characters, but they're able to come together, even though they might be, outcasts in other parts of the world. They're able to come together and celebrate themselves in Monster High.
And that's another thing too that I love about it, like the diversity of the show. But every episode not only do you see like the connectedness with each of them and how they relate to each other, but every episode has like a great message, like believing in yourself, working as a team, don't get addicted to social media, for example. But when writing these episodes, is it the message that you work on first, or is it you write out the script and then while you're writing it, like a message slowly starts appearing?
They both happen about the same time. So, with our scripting process, we have a small writer's room that will meet for a couple of days to break each story. And within that, as the story starts to come together, we usually have that guiding theme that comes out of the story. So, for early on in each process, we kind of have something that rises to the top of like, what is this story about emotionally? And that's what we're trying to get across. And like, what one of the things that I really love about what we've done with Monster High is there is a lot of nuance in that. So we're not just saying like this is black and white, this is good, this is bad, but as you grow up, decisions become more complicated. Things are, there's a lot of nuance, there's a lot of angles to look at. And friendship isn't as clear cut as you want it to be sometimes. So, the thing that I really love that we got to do with a lot of these stories is add in those layers, have the ways that our characters come together, even when, what is exactly the right decision isn't always completely clear.
Yeah, yes. And then speaking of layers, what makes me laugh are like the puns. Like there's a lot of monster puns throughout the show. So for me, like watching this, like I catch some things here and there, and I think that's funny. My kids would be like, I can get it. But like when you're writing these episodes, what makes a good monster pun? And then like how do you guys like think of the like the Hisfits, for example? I know like that's like a callback to the Misfits, but it's kind of funny that it's in the show. It's a Hisfits. So like what makes a good monster pun for you?
I mean, the best puns are the ones that are super clear and that you understand immediately. I think sometimes we've found along the way that a pun might work in writing and doesn't actually work when you say it out loud for various reasons. So, puns can be a little tricky thing to try to get exactly the right pun. But, there are people who appreciate puns, people who don't appreciate puns so much. And I personally am a pun lover, so I'm always happy at a chance to put in some puns somewhere.
Nice, thank you. For someone that's never watched a show, what would you say to them to like get them to watch it? Or if you wanted to like just give them one episode to like, if you want to know what this show is about, here, watch this episode. Which episode would that be?
Ooh, that's a hard question. I really loved, and this is cheating because it's 4 episodes. It's our Halloween special, the Monster Fest special, which I think really brought together so many of the wonderful elements of what is Monster High. So that special is all about, there's this monster holiday coming up called Monster Fest, and the kids are they come into some circumstances, I'm trying not to have spoilers here, that is ruining the celebration, and they really have to figure out what's going on. And within that, there are, different layers of, Heath's relationship with his dad, Hades, which has been troubled from the beginning of our series. And then we have Cleo's relationship with Frankie, and these different kind of dynamics that are happening throughout these episodes that really show off our characters. And it ends with one of my favorite songs in the whole series. So I think that special brings together just all the best elements of Monster High.
Definitely, definitely. And then, like, again, there are a lot of great elements to the show, and like you just mentioned, like the relationship between Frankie and Cleo. And then, so also, I want to do congratulate you guys too, because the show did get an outstanding children's programming nomination from GLAAD Awards, which I think is pretty awesome. Because I really, I really think that a lot of people nowadays fear shows that have changed like this, but it's also great to expose them, especially kids nowadays. Because which is one thing that I wanted to bring up is like now, like with the Mattel sent us one of these toys, and my daughter had the exact same one, and when she looked at it, she's like, she doesn't look the same, but she looks more realistic. And I
Mhm,
think that's what's perfect now that they're bringing out with the show, is that people can see each other, even though they're monsters. People can see
mhm.
themselves in these characters. So I really want to thank you for doing that, and for like putting out shows like characters like this, because it's just a great thing to see. Um, and then speaking of the characters, which, like, I know I asked you about the show, but which character would you say you connect with most, or which is your favorite?
I think the character who is most like me is Draculaura because we're both very type A. However, I would say my favorite character is Cleo, and my favorite character to write is Cleo because I think there's kind of this superficial, valley girl essence to her, and you think, "Oh, I know who that character is. She's kind of ditzy, whatever." But then she's not. Like she's actually the most emotionally mature of the characters. She's the one who's, done a lot of therapy. She's the one who's been there and is able to guide some of her friends through some of these bigger emotions and bigger troubles. And she has this just incredible depth of character that you don't expect from a character like that.
Yeah, yeah, and then we do get to see that too on the Eek Talk episode when she,
Mhm.
before deleting the app, she's like, "Wait, I gotta put a message out there and let everybody know what happened," which is fantastic. I do want to say again, I really enjoyed the show. I watch it with my son. I watched it with my daughter. She was kind of hesitant because she's so used to the older ones, but as she
Mhm.
started watching them, she's like, "Okay, I kind of like this now too." But I do want to also throw this out here, friends. The DVD is out now in stores, so definitely go pick it up. It's a great series. I mean, there's a lot of perfect lessons in here to watch, and it's something great for the entire family. But I want to say, Shay, thank you very much for your time today. And are we hopefully seeing another season coming soon?
I can't say on that front.
Okay, we'll just wait and see. Thank you again for your time today, friends. Again, Monster High season 2 is out now. Pick it up wherever you get physical media, because I'm a big physical media person, and I rather have a disc than my internet's on offline and I can't watch anything. So you have a great
Absolutely.
day, Shay. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Victor. It's great to talk to you.
Bye bye.